Hey, happy Sunday. I just wanted to show or hop on, and I wanted to talk about gastroparesis. If you've seen any of my posts, you may have seen that it's Gastroparesis Awareness Month. And so for this month, we are getting the word out there and trying to spread awareness about a disease that affects myself and 5 million other Americans in this world and across the planet, and people of all ages, genders, everyone can get gastroparesis. Well, I first heard the word gastroparesis in 2009. I was diagnosed, but the doctor didn't do anything. He didn't tell me what would happen. He didn't tell me what could happen. And so I just went on with life because I wasn't sick. And I had no idea come 2012, my whole life would change. When I was first dealing with this disease called gastroparesis, I didn't know anyone, not one soul that was like me, not anyone who I could lament with, somebody I could, say, hey, I'm feeling this way, this is what I take, this is what you're taking, nothing. I had no one. Now I have started a gastroparesis page 2 years ago, and I have met other people like me. What I have found is we're all different. I've never met anyone with gastroparesis whose symptoms are the exact same. So I have one friend who I follow on Instagram. Her handle is called I Have Gastroparesis Too. And I was going to write something similar to what she had written. And like we've all been taught before, why reinvent the wheel when what she wrote really spoke to my heart. And I'm going to share with you what she wrote. And then just share a little bit more about gastroparesis and my journey. She writes, "Oh, you have gastroparesis, so you feel sick a lot. I had a stomach bug a few weeks ago, and it was horrible. Or I get really bad heartburn. I know how it feels. Or I get really sharp stomach pains too. I know how it is." No, you don't. You really don't. You have no clue, and you can't imagine. Don't compare this condition to a stomach bug that you had a few weeks ago or a year ago. I would swap having a bad stomach bug 1,000 times than having this condition. Don't tell me you know how it feels. You really don't. You have no idea how physically and mentally exhausting it is to feel intense nausea every second of your life and pain as if rocks are sitting in your stomach. You might have had intense nausea or a stomach bug. Yes, it's very inconvenient, but my stomach barely effing works. So please don't tell me you can relate because you have no idea. My diet is so restricted, it's scary. And things which are considered healthy, like salads and raw fruits, can send me to the emergency room. It's not a quick fix thing that a session of yoga will sort out. It's a lifelong condition of suffering and a need for incredible strength. The reason people say, I can relate, is because there is not enough awareness out there about how much gastroparesis affects a person. It's not a little stomach infection which comes and goes. It is permanent. It's painful. It's debilitating. If you can sit down and enjoy a meal without any pain or nausea after it, then let me tell you, you are incredibly blessed. Don't take this for granted. You only realize what you have after you lose it. I can't complain about a bad stomach day as someone who has a stomach bug or infection because mine is permanent. So I swallow it up, keep my mouth shut, don't complain, and suffer in silence, just as many of you do, because that's our new normal. We shouldn't have to do that. No one should. Please keep raising awareness. That really spoke to me because along my journey, I started getting, if you're not familiar with my journey, I'll just be really quick. I started getting sick when I was pregnant with our youngest daughter, Emma, and we thought it was gallbladder stones, and I had an ultrasound when I was about 5 months pregnant. I had really bad pain, and there were no stones, so they didn't know what was wrong with me. Chalked it up to pregnancy issues. I had my daughter. I did fine. I had her in August of 2012, and by November, I was sicker than I have ever been in my life. And we did a lot of testing and found out my gallbladder was functioning at only 2% via HIDA scan. So they said that was the issue, and I would feel better after a simple surgery and get it taken out. That wasn't the case. I ended up with a hospital-related infection which then made me even sicker. And for 2 years in a new state that we just moved to in Texas, we had no idea what was wrong with me. I thought it was anxiety and depression. I thought it was all in my head. I thought I was a horrible mom. I thought I was a horrible wife. I thought I was lazy. I thought I was so many things. And as I was watching the sermon today, you know, my daughter, they talked about the lizard brain. The lizard brain, and she learned about it at camp, is that part of your brain that tells you that you're too fat, you're too skinny, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's the devil talking to you, the lies. But when you're really sick, the devil loves to just get at you even more because you're already down. And that's what happened to me. We exhausted every measure that we knew what to do for 2 years in Texas, and I put the blame on me. We decided to move home on a whim, move over 1,000 miles for healthcare to try to figure out what was wrong with me. We did that. I don't remember the move. We stayed with my in-laws while we were waiting for our house to be finished. And I saw a specialist, and he told me that I still had the infection that we thought we had eradicated, and did some more testing and reconfirmed my diagnosis of gastroparesis. And it was then that I began to learn what gastroparesis was going to do in my life. And I can't even begin to tell you what that was like. I weighed almost 70 pounds less. I lost 50 pounds in about a month. Months before I went to Mayo for a month, I was drinking Ensure only. So I only had Ensure for 60 days. That's all I could keep down. I've never thrown up. I didn't even know what cyclical vomiting syndrome is. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't know someone could throw up that much. I didn't know any of these things. I didn't know that my life was going to change, but I do know that I was a control freak. And I believe that God humbled me, because the only way we can be blessed is if we're humbled and put our full faith into God so he can do the things in our life. So he completely humbled me. He took away people that I wanted to be a part of in their lives that weren't. Now I see why, because they weren't good for me. But at the time, it's really hard and it hurts, especially when you're sick. That's when you need people the most. And to see people leave your life because you're sick and they don't understand how you feel, and the whole world doesn't understand, and you're suffering so much, you feel like you're screaming, but nobody's listening to you. And that's why you see people sharing about gastroparesis, because it's a lot more than just having my stomach paralyzed. It means that I struggle with intense nausea, like she said, every single day, every single moment, every single second of my life. I take 5 medications 4 times a day just to try to manage my nausea. The vomiting is awful. The weight shift is crazy. Right now I'm at my highest weight ever, which is something that can happen with gastroparesis. I've been at my lowest weight and almost passed away from it. And I am also now at the same thing that can happen with people with gastroparesis. You can also, your weight fluctuates. So now I'm at my highest weight ever when I don't hardly eat ever at all. My list of foods that I can eat are very minimal. The exhaustion that you have when you're so sick and you're not getting the right nutrition is something I had never experienced. When you can only shower in the day, and it's been many days since you showered last, you know what tired really is. If that's all you can do in a day is bathe, you really know that. At my age, I think I was 35 when this was happening to me. And I never once thought that I would get chronically sick. I never thought it would happen to me, but it did. And I wanted everyone around me to understand. But that's not what's going to happen. Even the people that are around me, that love me, don't understand. And that's why we continue to raise awareness and pray for a cure, because truly gastroparesis is an evil, evil disease. They don't call it the starving disease for no reason. They do that because, do you know what it feels like to be starving to death? You're so hangry, but there's nothing on the planet that sounds good. Eating is a chore. You want to cry because you want to eat, but you're too sick to eat. And you know if you do eat, how sick you're going to be. It is a constant roller coaster of struggles. You might have amazing days where your gastroparesis is managed and you're doing really well, and then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from underneath of you and you're flat on your back and there's something that you can do. That's called a gastroparesis flare, and that can happen multiple times. I mean, everyone's journey is different, so you're constantly going like this. So not only that, do people leave, but people stop trusting you or asking you to go out to eat with them or asking you to join activities, and because you say no not because you don't want to go, you say no because you don't know where the closest bathroom is. You don't want to get sick in public. You can't handle the food smells. I can tell you that going out to eat is something that gives me such anxiety it makes me shake. I mean, I'm shaking right now just even talking about it. It is really hard with someone with gastroparesis. So for me to be able to have something in my life that's helped me through that, which is my faith. I've seen God move mountains in my life, and I have become a better person because of my disease. I used to be so angry, and I was so mad, and I think that's something that everybody goes through when your whole life changes, and it's a permanent change. My life and my gastroparesis is not going to change. It's not going to get better. All we can do, if your diagnosis was this is exactly what Mayo said to me. 25% of people with gastroparesis get better. 75% of people with gastroparesis have to do medications, very strict diets, and try to maintain the best quality of life that you can as much as you can. That was my diagnosis from Mayo. So I can't tell you how defeating that was when I got home from Mayo, and I didn't feel any better. When you don't have good nutrition, your gut is so out of whack that everything, and I've learned this too along with my journey, when your gut is out of whack, your emotions are out of whack, your immune system is out of whack, everything is out of whack. They even told me when I was at Mayo that they're going to start treating certain diseases and cancers through pre and probiotics because they finally have realized how much our guts affect our lives and our brains, and they work together. So my journey has been really hard. I have lost time as a mom. My daughter was 6 months old when I became sick. I remember she went to daycare to someone I don't even know. I never met her, in a state that we just had moved to. And I had to do that. I had to release the control because I didn't have control for years. And like I said, I am borderline OCD control freak. And God, I think, did that to me because there was no other way. I would probably listen. So what I did when those people who I loved or wanted to be a part of their life that left mine, I leaned on God. When I couldn't go out and be with my family on holidays and I was alone for holidays, I leaned on God. When I wanted to see family and friends that didn't show up, I leaned on God. And so through my journey, yes, it's hard. Every day is a struggle. I think that a lot of people see a smiling picture with makeup on and nice clothes, and they think, oh, she's fine, wonderful. No, gastroparesis is something that I will be dealing with for the rest of my entire life. I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea if it will get worse. I have no idea. And I live with that every single day. I know that you don't have any idea what's going to happen to you in your life. I know we all have an expiration date. But when you have an illness that you know that has almost taken your life, and you've seen it happen to friends that you love, that I've lost because of gastroparesis, it is scary. It is scary to live your life like that, knowing that you have something that can kill people. And you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to get worse or better. I don't know if I'm going to be there to watch my kids graduate. I don't know if I'm going to be there to walk them down the aisle or be there for them, plan their weddings, prom dresses, all that stuff. So I take every single day and I hold it tight. And I pray to God every day, let them see you through me. And that's how I live my life. That's how I run my business. That's how I run my family. That's how I run everything now. I give everything to God because I don't have control anymore. And I never really did. And it took me an illness, chronic illness like that, for me to see that. Some people might get the first few bricks. Not me. I'm pretty stubborn. So that's why we're out here raising gastroparesis awareness. That's why you see people pieing each other to try to raise awareness and raise money for a cure. When you go to the doctor, imagine having a disease that too many doctors don't even know. I can't tell you how many times I've been to the doctor and they say, you have what? And they're a doctor and they don't even know what you have. Therefore, they don't know how to treat it. They don't know the medications. I mean, it is so overwhelming. You can't even imagine. And when you don't have a doctor that understands how you feel, do you know how hopeless that is? It is so hopeless. It's so defeating. It is a scary feeling. And it has happened to me. It's happened to me all too often. It's happened to my friends all too often. And we deserve to have the right medications. We deserve to have the right care. We deserve to be respected. We deserve to be heard. and we deserve to have hope for a cure. Everyone does. I know there are other chronic illnesses out there, rare diseases, and gastroparesis is just one of many, but it's one that has affected my life, and through the people that I meet, through the business that I do, because it changed my life and truly was really the only thing that has helped me maintain the quality of my life. I have met people, so many people, who message me and say, so-and-so that I know has gastroparesis, will you talk to them? I love when I get those kind of messages, because I feel like that's why also that God gave me this illness. I hate going live. I hate public speaking. It's not something that I do. I'm not even looking to see how many people are watching or who is watching. I get nervous. I get sweaty. My palms get sweaty. I don't like it. I don't have any makeup on. I didn't do my hair, because truly what matters is none of that. What matters is human compassion, kindness, and just love towards one another and respect. So I respect people out there that have diseases that I don't understand, and if I talk to you about something and I'm saying the wrong thing, let me know, because I don't want to do that. And if you do, I understand that people don't know what to say. Sometimes people say too much when all we really want is just a hug, or just to say, you know what, I don't understand, but I'm listening to what you have to say and I hear you. Being heard is one of the most valuable things that we can give to people. So I'm glad that God took me out of people's lives that I thought I wanted to be in, because I've seen who they've become, and that's not me. That's not the direction that I'm going. I'm a better person because I have struggled. And so gastroparesis didn't take everything away from me. The devil might like to think so, but nope, it didn't. It's not going to win. It might kill me. That's fine, but still won't win. How does that work? Because it can't touch my heart. My heart is true. My heart has a real empathy for other people and a real kindness. And I believe that shines through the disease that I have. And I hope that it brings people into my life. I can help change their life through my story, or by listening to their story and being there for them. In the end, that's all that we really want, is to be heard and understood, no matter what it is, no matter if it's anxiety or depression, diabetes, gastroparesis, MS, any disease that we have. We just want to be understood and heard, and people to be kind. I'll leave you with this. Ableism is when you discriminate against someone who is chronically sick. And I have had a friend who has a wheelchair tag thing that they hang on their car, but she doesn't look sick. If you saw her, you wouldn't know she's sick. And she got a nasty note on her car. The balls that it takes to do that to somebody when you don't know, it is one of the worst things that you could ever do. So my quest to you, and part of the reason why I'm raising awareness, is stop judging people by what they look like. Gastroparesis is an invisible chronic illness, which means you can't see it. You can't see my stomach. What you don't know is I just had a scope done of my stomach, and after 18 hours, I still had food in my stomach. That means that I still have gastroparesis, and sometimes when I feel better, I fool myself into thinking I am getting better, but I really am not. And that's something that I have to deal with every single day. So when people are out there hating on people who are just trying to maintain their quality of life and to have a quality of life, and they receive bad notes or bad comments or talked about behind their back, or you missed someone's birthday, or you missed that, I finally had to let that go. If I've missed your birthday, I'm sorry. I don't do cards anymore. I don't do any of that stuff anymore, because it's not important. What's important is that, if it's your birthday and I see it, I'll wish you happy birthday, but I have to focus on me and my family and my God, and if I'm okay, in order for me to give back to other people. And that's what's important, not keeping up with everybody else, because I'm not like everybody else. My journey is different, and I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of who I've become despite everything that I've had to go through and grow through. And I'm so thankful for the few people, the rare people out there that have lifted me up, that have helped me with my faith, who have listened to me cry, who've held my hair as I'm throwing up, who have been there for me, pushed my wheelchair, who have watched me pass out and not freaked out. I thank you for being there for me. And sometimes my heart feels like even though you're really close to me, that you still don't understand. But I don't think anyone will truly understand until they've experienced it themselves. And I would never wish gastroparesis on anyone. So if you know someone out there that is struggling with anything, whether it be life or an illness or whatever, the best thing you can do is just listen. Just listen. Don't listen to speak and to respond. Listen to hear. Actually hear what that person is saying to you. That's all we all want. And they will listen to you back. And they just want to know that, you know what? I'm here for you. You know, go out of your way and just send someone a message. It doesn't cost anything. A smile doesn't cost anything. A hug doesn't cost anything. Treating people the same. You know, that's one thing I wish that people would do, is treat me the same. But at the same time, have some compassion upon the heart that I can't do things like I used to. I used to keep my house. People would laugh at me. Everybody who knows me well knows that my closet was organized by, like, tank tops were all in one section, by color, t-shirts, go on and so on. My closet's not like that anymore. My house isn't like that anymore. It drives me crazy every single day, but I physically cannot do it. I physically can't. My mom or my grandma could out-clean me on any day, and it is something that drives me crazy and gets my anxiety way up here. If I let my lizard brain in here, the thoughts that I hear, you're a loser, you suck, you should be, you should. Take should out of your vocabulary, because they don't know. And all I can do in a day, and when I get done in a day, I've learned to let that be good enough. And I think that there are other people out there who need this message that maybe don't have a chronic illness, that maybe you have subscribed to the world of public opinion. You're really focused on how many likes you get, if your post is shared, or how many, you know, whatever you put out there. Just remember that I'm guilty of it too, that you only see the good parts of my life for the most part. No one wants to post the shitty parts of our lives, but they're real and they happen. And that happens to every single person, whether they look like they have the most perfect life on social media or not. It is another hurdle that we have to overcome, and stop comparing ourselves to people who seem like they have everything perfect, because they don't. And that just puts on another layer of expectations that we should not have to deal with or worry about. God doesn't want us to worry about that. God wants us to worry about ourselves and our relationship with Him and how we can serve Him. And so that is what I've done. You know, I'm not in my business. You know, there have been people that have shot me down, who have told me I wouldn't make it. I can't hold a regular 9-to-5 job anymore. I do what I do because I love to help people, because I have such empathy for people who don't feel their best. And I know what that feels like. And so if I can change someone's life, it really gives me a good feeling upon my heart. And it also allows me to feel like a functioning part of society, that I contribute, that I can still be ambitious and do things and change the world despite everything that's happened to me. So that's why I am so very, very passionate about what I do. And I've taken those naysayers and the people who have not wanted to listen to my story or respect my journey and think things of me, and I've thrown them out of my basket of thinking. They're not in here anymore. It's a rare day that I let them get in here, and when I let them get in here, I pray up. And I also pick up the phone and I talk to the people that love me for me. And they will remind me when on those days, because I'm not perfect, that I get down about those things, because we're all human. We all want to be included. We all want to be respected. We all want to feel like we're loved and successful. But my journey is my journey, and your journey is your journey. And I'm proud of my journey, and I'm proud of how far I've come. I have lost years of my life. I've lost the bulk of my 30s being in bed, or in the hospital, or at the doctor's office. And it's hard to swallow, but I have had to let it go so I can move forward. I was trying to control God's hand so that He would move things in my life, and I finally had to humble myself to Him so that He would move things in my life, and that's when things in my life started to change. So I am grateful that I have gastroparesis, because of it, my social circle is better. I'm a better person. I'm a better Christian. I'm a better mom. I'm a better friend. I'm a better person out in the public. And despite everything that I go through, I'm glad that I have what I have because I'm strong enough to live it. And I didn't see that for a long time. It took a long time to get here. And that's why I share about gastroparesis awareness. It's not for attention. It's not for sympathy. I don't need or want any of that. I can handle it myself. But we all want people to just hear our stories and respect our journeys. We all deserve to be respected. So if you're out there fighting something tonight that people don't understand, I encourage you to look within yourself, let go of what you can't control, because that is what the anxiety does. It makes you feel like everything is so out of control, but we don't have control. So the sooner you give up control, and it happened to me, to my life, without my mental mind doing it itself. It just was ripped from me like a Band-Aid really fast, and it was gone. But your journey might be different. Your journey might be, you really do compare yourselves to those people that you see on Facebook every single day, and you beat yourself up and talk in your head all day long that, why can't I be a mom like them? Why can't I do this trip? Why can't I get them these clothes? Why can't I do these activities? I'm watching a movie with my kids instead of playing outside. Stop comparing yourself to other people. If I would do that, I would never be able to move forward with my disease, because I don't have, it's like I'm playing with life with my arm tied behind my back, and I only have one hand. I don't have my whole toolbox anymore. So I've had to pick the best tools out there that I know will work for me and use those tools. And once I've done those things and done the work of praying, of soul searching, journaling, listening to motivational videos, reading books, changing my life through God and through resources that are available to all of us, it has gotten better. And it has quieted all that stuff in my head. So the fear of rejection, sharing my story. Most people would be like, oh, this video is too long. I don't care if it's too long. It's my real story. And my story can help someone else. And if I can do that, I'm going to keep sharing. And I hope, and I have hope, and I hope there is a cure for gastroparesis someday. I truly believe that I will see it someday, but only if you help. I need you to share some of my stuff. Go out there and put a pie in your face. It's free, it's fun, it is hilarious, and it's a good way. Laughter cures so many things, but it's so fun, and I see so many of my friends scroll by it and don't even do it. I'm just going to be honest with you, it pisses me off. It pisses me off because I would be out there. I've done it for the ALS challenge. I've done so many different challenges out there, and if somebody asked me to put a pie in my face to help someone get a cure for their disease, hell yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat. I've done it. I've taken 20 pies to the face, and I've done the pie to face challenge 2 times before that. So I'm out there, and I'm active, and I do have control, but I had to find it by letting go of my control. So that's why we all share about gastroparesis, because we are hurt, angry people that are limping along in life when our life is nowhere near what we thought it was going to be. And that's really hard to deal with every single day. And we're all human, and we all have bad days. So the more you share, the more we can help other people, and the more we do have hope for a cure. So if you could, go out there and do the GP Pie Face Challenge. All you need is a can of whipped cream and a paper plate, and just pie yourself or pie someone else, which is more fun, and just share it on Facebook. Why not? What is it going to do? Nothing but help people. And I have probably 500 people that are on my gastroparesis page right now, maybe closer to 600, that would be so grateful, including myself, if you would just do something like that to help us have hope for a cure. Because hope is one of the things that we all need to hold on to be able to live a life that's really, really hard. And again, it's not because we want attention. We just really want to feel good much all the time, just like you do. So please don't ever compare yourself or assume things about people's journey. I would so much rather have people ask me questions, whether they're stupid or not, than to talk about me or assume things about me. So if you want to ask me questions, I'm an open book. I will share anything with you. That's part of my journey. Some people don't feel like that. Some people hide in their houses and don't go places, and their quality of life is nil, and it makes me really, really sad. And that's why I am a voice for those people. That's why I power through my anxiety to give this message to you because I love and care about all those other people that have gastroparesis. And I just wanted to share, like I said at the beginning of this video, it happens to all ages, all races, all gender, all sexual orientation, all of that stuff. It happens to us equally. So it's really difficult to see the little kids who've never even had a chance to live a normal life. I did have a chance to live a normal life until I was 29 years old. And it really didn't start affecting me until I was 32. So right now I've been working on getting better for almost 6 years. So it took me 6 years to get to this healthy. I will show some pictures that scare me and scare my family of where I was and what I used to look like before we got a handle on my gastroparesis. I just want to say thank you to my GP friends, and again to those out there that have loved me through everything good and bad. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for being a part of my journey. Thanks for supporting me, and thanks for being awesome. And I just hope this message really speaks to your heart, and something that I've said through God really changes in your life. So with that, I hope to see some pies fly, and I hope that if you're out there and you don't understand something about somebody else, if you can do anything, just be kind and smile. Have a great night.